This case is on the court's docket for an adoption proceeding on a petition filed by Miss Demetria Robinson. She is present with her attorney of record, Rodney Jones. Also, let the record reflect that Ariana is present and her attorney, Miss Robin Houston, is present.
Thank you so much. Okay, first, Miss Robinson, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Can you please state your full name?
Demetria Latrice Robinson.
Okay, and Ms. Robinson, you are here today petitioning the court to adopt and create a legal parent-child relationship with a beautiful young lady sitting next to you, Miss Ariana, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and you're aware that she was placed in your home as a result of CPS?
Yes.
And currently CPS is her managing conservator. However, they have signed a waiver of consent to today's adoption, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and you're also aware that her biological parents' rights were terminated in a prior case, correct?
Correct.
And are you related to Ariana?
No.
Having no relation, you have had an opportunity to review her HESIC report, which is a health, social, educational, and genetic report. Is that correct?
Correct.
And with the full understanding of her background and the bond that you guys have created, you're still asking the court to adopt and create a legal parent-child relationship with her?
Correct.
All right. How long has she lived with you, Ms. Robinson?
Since October 2022.
Okay, so over 6 months.
Yes.
All right, so it's been you were ready for this adoption to be granted and over, correct?
Correct.
And you know she's going to be yours forever and ever?
And ever.
And ever. All right.
Ever.
And are you asking the court to change her name?
Yes.
All right, to Ariana. All right. And finally, Ms. Robinson, do you believe that this adoption is in her very best interest?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Robinson. I pass the witness.
Miss Houston.
Your Honor, I don't have any questions for Ms. Robinson this morning.
All right, thank you. Mr. Jones, your next witness.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Your Honor. Next, I'd like to call our CPS representative.
You're
Good
just afraid
morning.
to say her last name, aren't you?
I am, Judge. Did you? I don't want to mess it up.
All right, go ahead, Ms. DeGrando.
Okay, good morning, Ms. DeGrando.
Good morning.
And Ms. DeGrando, how are you employed?
I just became an adoption supervisor, but I was the adoption caseworker for Ariana up until this month. So I've worked the entire.
Well, congratulations on your promotion, Ms. DeGrando. And
Thank you.
great. So have you or someone from the department gone out and visited Ariana in her home environment with Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
All right. And you've also prepared all the necessary documentation for today's adoption. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And with all of your due diligence, do you, as well as the department, believe that this adoption is in Ariana's best interest?
I definitely believe it's in her best interest. Feel so blessed to have Miss Robinson, and Ariana has done so well in the home. So I love it. I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all your hard work, Ms. DeGrando. I pass the witness.
Ms. Houston.
Briefly, Your Honor, Ms. DeGrando, you believe that Ms. Robinson will continue to meet Ariana's needs and provide for her education and for everything she needs for the rest of her life, correct? I'll pass the witness.
Did anyone hear Ms. DeGrando?
I do.
Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
there's a bit of a delay, but we can see.
Yes, sir. Your next witness.
All right. Thank you, Judge. Next, I'd like to call Ms. Rusher. Good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
Okay. And Ms. Rusher, can you tell the court how you're employed and involved with this case?
Yes, sir. I was the foster care and adoption coordinator for the agency Arms Wide.
Oh, perfect. And Arms Wide is the child placing agency that licensed Ms. Robinson's home. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
All right. And your agency actually performed the home study as well as a confidential report for today's adoption?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And you and your agency also believe that this adoption is in Ariana's very best interest, correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for all your hard work, Ms. Rusher.
Thank you.
Ms. Houston.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, I see that we have Casa on, Ms. Goldsmith. I don't know if we got her sworn in, but I'd love to get her input as well.
All right. I want to ask a tag team group question of Casa. That's fine with the court.
Okay, thank you so much, Judge. Well, I will pose this question for either of you. If you guys can just tell us how long you've been involved with Ariana and the growth that you've seen in Ariana since being with Miss Robinson.
I can go. I have been with Ariana since she was originally removed from her home, which was in 2020, I believe. And I have seen her become more open, more energetic, she's been very brave. I've seen her come into the young girl that she is. It's been really fun to see her just open up with Miss Robinson and really just enjoy life and overcome a lot of obstacles.
That's amazing, Ms. Craig. Thank you so much. I know this has been a long road for Ariana. And since you were there from the very beginning, can you tell the court if you believe that her being adopted by Ms. Robinson is in her very best interest?
I think it is in her very best interest, yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all you've done throughout the pendency of this case. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Houston, do you have any questions of Casa?
I don't have any questions of Casa, but if you guys had anything else you wanted to add to let the judge know, I would certainly invite you guys to do that.
Looks like a no.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Jones?
Your Honor, with all of that being said, and so many great witnesses who have all attested to this adoption being in the child's very best interest, we rest at this time and ask that the adoption as well as the name change be granted.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Houston?
Your Honor, I don't have any witnesses to call today, but I would say that I recommend the adoption wholeheartedly. I have been Ariana's attorney since her removal as well, and the growth and everything that she's experienced in Miss Robinson's home, it's truly her forever home. It's the right place for her, and I'm really very happy and excited that this day has come and can't wait for them to get on with the rest of their lives. But anyway, wholeheartedly recommend that adoption.
Awesome. And so, Ariana, you've heard everything today, right?
Yeah.
And this is okay for you?
Yeah.
You're ready to be stuck with that lady sitting next to you that you've got your head on her shoulder forever?
Yeah.
All right. That sounds like a good deal. Ms. Robinson, the court does find that all the legal prerequisites have been met, all the necessary reports have been made and are on file, and that it is in Ariana's best interest to be adopted by you. I am granting the adoption you've requested. I'm ordering that her name be changed as you've requested and granting all other relief prayed for in your petition. Congratulations.
Yay!
Mr. Jones, have you submitted an order to my court coordinator along with all of your other paperwork?
I have, Your Honor. All of it was e-filed.
Perfect. I am approving the order that you have presented. Mr. Crosby will get it e-filed and back to you.
Perfect, Your Honor. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Ms. Robinson, as soon as we get the certified copies of your order, we'll be getting those over to you. We'll also be putting off for your new birth certificate today. And so we'll be in contact with you, but you know our number. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Will do. Thank you so much, everybody.
And I
for
can
being
see
here.
that Hunter appears to be connected, but I can't see Hunter.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. This happens all the time. Every time I get on court, it's always facing straight up. I don't know why. It's just the computer.
That's funny.
Yeah, how are you doing? It's nice to see you again.
I'm doing all right. I'm guessing it's just the odd placement of the camera.
Well, no, like my computer's face up. It's just the simple fact that my computer always so it's just how you see the bottom of my screen. It's like on my. Sorry, I'm in school, so I have teachers around me. It's all right though.
Is there a way we can see you, Hunter?
I hate this thing.
Well, why don't we do this? I'm going to go ahead and call the case. And Hunter, can you just kind of keep trying to troubleshoot that?
Yeah, we got it. Thanks, Judge. We got it. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
This case is on the court's docket for a permanency after final. The department is present through Ms. Gongora. Kevin Keithley is the attorney and guardian ad litem for Hunter. Hunter is present. Ms. Laura Rose, Hunter's mother, is present. Michael Williams, the father, is not. If everyone's ready, Ms. Gongora, you may proceed.
Thank you. The department calls Mr. Magruder. Thank you. Mr. Magruder, did you prepare a report in preparation for today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
And at the time of its filing, was everything in that report, to your knowledge, true and correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, I offer the department's court report.
It's admitted.
Mr. Magruder, do you have any updates for the court since the filing of your report?
Yes, ma'am.
What are those?
The first is with medication. On May the 4th, Hunter had a medication review. His medication stayed the same. However,
All right, so it looks as though the physicians don't believe that he needs as much medication as he was on previously, correct?
there was Hunter's has raised some concerns about him being sleepy in the morning, and he hasn't taken his morning medications in some months now. So they thought it'd be wise just to try out just the evening medications.
Are there any other updates since the filing of your court report?
Yes. So this Friday, Hunter was arrested and spent some time in the juvenile detention center for a assault on a emergency room staff. He had a warrant there. He was there for a sore throat and then was informed that he had a warrant for that assault. He was released on Monday, and he doesn't have any, I haven't heard of any conditions. I called up there 3 or 4 times, and I've been getting voicemails, but he has been released, since been released.
All right, and so the department's following up to make sure that if there are any conditions of his release, that he's going to be in compliance with those. Is that right?
Correct.
Anything else?
Yes, ma'am. One more thing. In addition, I know the assault by contact was a pending charge. We had that court date on the 11th. Hunter was ordered to complete a 6-hour anger management course. And in addition to that, we have a court date for the curfew violation, and that is tomorrow at 3 p.m.
And with that anger management course, is that something that the department has already started looking into as to how they're going to provide that for him, or make sure that he gets enrolled in one?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say 600 hours?
No, ma'am.
6 hours. Okay. For some reason I heard 600 and I'm like, that's a lot. Okay.
And do you have a timeline as to when you're going to be able to get that set up for him?
I hope to have it set up for him by Monday next week. He has to have it completed by August.
Okay. Anything else that needs to be updated for the court?
No, ma'am.
Otherwise, how is Hunter doing?
He has had some good days, some bad days, but recently there've been a lot of bad days. Hunter continues to elope from the house often. He's leaving. He's going to try to contact Belton PD or Temple PD or going to the fire department. Hunter's having some general just boundary issues, not respecting staff boundaries, some student boundaries as well at school. The school is having some issues dealing with Hunter's behavior as well. He's had numerous incidents in which he was presented with some boundaries or some expectations, and he would get upset and he would just leave. So the school is working with him with that. We're also seeing those same behaviors manifest at the home as well.
Is there anything else that you feel the court needs to be made aware of at this time?
Concerning Hunter, no, ma'am.
I'll pass witness.
Mr. Keithley.
Your Honor, I don't believe I have any questions at this time for this witness.
Ms. Rose, do you have any questions of Mr. Magruder?
Not at this time.
We'll come back. We'll come back to you, ma'am. I'm just asking if you have questions of Mr. Magruder.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Your next witness, Ms. Gongora.
No further witnesses, Judge.
Mr. Keithley.
Your Honor, I would just briefly call Hunter just to ask how he's doing. Can you hear Hunter? Are you there?
Yes, sir. I can hear.
Okay. Well, Hunter, how are you? How are you doing?
I mean, I'm a little sleepy. I've been since 7:45 this morning, so I'm tired.
Okay. Well, you wanted to be here. Is there anything you wanted to tell the judge or anything in particular?
Well, I've been trying to do a little bit better. It's just somewhat dealing with kind of the kids in the house and a lot of, let's say, shenanigans. I don't want to cuss. I'll put it shenanigans. And some of the workers, they just like to yell and all that. So I'm like, I just step outside and go outside on the front porch. But sometimes, most of the time I do tend to walk. But sometimes I try to like sit on the front steps to, cool off. Besides that, I've been doing really good besides, like my case where I mentioned all that other stuff. But besides that, I've been doing really good besides some general behavioral problems.
Okay. All right. And you, like the other night when I called you, you had just come back from the library, right? You would.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I was at the library.
Okay.
Hanging around.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't have any further questions, Hunter. If there's anything you want to say.
I'm good.
Okay.
Your Honor.
1 second, Hunter. Ms. Gongora, anything you want to talk with Hunter about?
No, Judge, I don't have any questions for him.
All right. Okay, Hunter, did you have something else to say?
No, ma'am. I'll just passing it on to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Rose, did you have something else you'd like to say?
With Hunter's to get first. He's getting received it or not, but my doctor sent you a letter, Hunter's lawyer a letter, and his caseworker a letter.
All right. Anything
And
else?
yes, ma'am. My doctor, who is my grandma's doctor and also was Hunter's when he was here, he said in the letter that due to Hunter's behavior, that in his professional opinion, that he doesn't think Hunter should be here until he's 18.
Does he think it'll get better at 18?
I don't know, ma'am, but at that point, he would be a legal adult.
Okay, I'm missing the point then, whether he's under 18 or over 18. So you're willing to have him back in your home when he turns 18?
Ma'am, I don't know how he's going to be, but right now with his behavior the way it is and my grandma's medical conditions and mine, I can't handle him.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Magruder, I have a question for you. I'm guessing since Hunter is currently in the Bell County area, he went into the Bell County Juvenile Detention Facility.
Correct.
All right, so he's on conditions of release.
Yes.
And is the juvenile department over there aware that Hunter is in CPS custody and is currently in a CWAP?
I know they are aware he's in CPS custody. I'm not sure if they're aware if he is in CWAP.
Okay, because it occurs to me that I have seen juvenile probation officers from Bell County ensure that a child that is in detention, one of the conditions of release is that they will gladly go to whatever placement the department finds for the juvenile. As I recall that Hunter has refused to go to a couple of places. If that's a condition of a felony charge condition of release, then it seems to me that that might be something that Hunter would want to reconsider so that he doesn't put up with the poor caseworkers that are trying to supervise all the shenanigans going on that Hunter talked about. Does anybody think that that would not be a good idea if Hunter's terms of conditions of release included participate in interviews and go to a suitable placement that the department finds for him? Ms. Gungor, any problem with the department trying to reach out to probation to see if that can be a term of his condition of release?
No, Judge, I don't think that would be a problem.
Mr. Keithley?
I don't think that would be a problem, Judge.
I mean, the bottom line is Hunter's trying to do better, but he's not the department's workers are highly trained, but they're not highly trained to handle CWAP. And so we really can't expect Hunter to do a lot better until he's in a placement that can meet his needs. Does anybody disagree with that?
No, Judge.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
So my thing is, the reason I've been going to places because I feel like they just make me worse. They don't make me any better. Like they make me worse. They don't make me no better. That's why I kind of stay here so that way I'm more
well. I'm going to cut you off at this point, Hunter.
Yeah.
Because you are not getting better at CWAP. Not only that, you are picking up new charges left and right, and you're going to be 17 years old next February, and then you would not be going to detention, you would be going to jail. And so I happen to know that the placements that the department is able to locate have specially trained folks. The caseworkers that are trying to keep people at CWAP are trained to do their job, but they are not trained to manage what's going on at the CWAP locations. And so I am asking, in fact, I'll order Mr. Magruder to see if that you will go to a placement and if it's located, and if you don't, then that will violate the conditions of your release and you would likely go back to juvenile probation, to juvenile detention. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're trying to help you, Hunter, and I know that it's kind of been a long road, but you being able to just say you're not going to go to a placement, all of these grown-ups on the screen know better than that. And so if it's going to take the juvenile court to help us help you, then I intend to see if that can happen. All right, anything further from anyone? If not, the court has reviewed the report that's on file. I will continue the department as the permanent managing conservator. Finding that at this time the child is in CWAP and that Mr. Magruder will touch base with the juvenile probation department representative that made the conditions of release. I've seen conditions of release. One second, Ms. Rose. I've seen their conditions of release or orders for probation, and they use that language. I've seen it on one of my children before. And so that is what I think that's the only way we're going to be able to get Hunter going in the right direction. The next permanency after final will be set for October 18th, 2023 at 2:00. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I would like to be able to maintain contact with Hunter. I just can't have him here.
Okay, and I understand. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll be in recess. The department is present through Ms. Gongora. Kevin Keithley is the child's attorney and guardian ad litem. The parents are Krista Law and John Law. They were given notice of this suit and are not present. You may call your first witness.
The department called Nadia Graves. Ms. Graves, do you have any updates for the court since the filing of your court report?
Since the filing of the report, DJ did complete a psychological. We were able to get his primary care physician to complete a referral for him to go through Texas Children's dental clinic for special needs children. So we're just waiting on that appointment in July.
Now, have you already started looking into what procedures, paperwork, things of that nature, any type of medical reports that need to be done or appointments that need to be made in preparation for DJ to go into HSC?
Yes, currently I'm working with our developmental disability specialist. We're trying to get DJ Social Security started, so that way it's one step towards getting him qualified for an HSC slot. With his current psychological, they don't have an IQ score on it, but DJ's still young, so his next psychological, we will be able to get another IQ score done for that one, as well as going back to the agency that did his current one and requesting a IQ score for him for this most recent psychological. I'm trying to think, and yeah, that's about it.
Is there someone specific with your disability specialist that is working on his case specifically or working in tandem with you to make sure that all of the ducks are in a row so that way guardianship can take over for the department when he turns 18?
Yes, there's another worker that's working with me.
Okay, who is that?
Her name is Gina. I don't know her last name because there's two different Ginas that I work with on two different cases.
Otherwise, is DJ doing well in placement?
Yes, he is.
Have there been any issues or concerns brought to the department's attention regarding his physical health or well-being?
No.
You hesitated right before I said, was there anything else that's been brought to the court or to the department's attention?
So DJ is very technologically inclined and he has tablets. So at any given time when DJ has he gets upset, he'll break his tablet. So right now we're working towards getting him another tablet.
And is that necessary for his schooling?
It's actually just necessary for him as far as stimulation goes and being in the home. He watches a lot of ABC Mouse and different educational shows on it. So it's helpful for him. And with him breaking his, right now he's using his caregiver's old cell phone. And he also uses it to communicate with his grandmother and his brother and family.
Is there anything that the court could order that would help the department speed up that process or anything that the department requires from the court at this time regarding DJ's needs?
No, I just have to get creative in finding a tablet that is somewhat indestructible for him, but it's not super expensive. So,
Is there anything else that you feel the court needs to be made aware of at this time?
no.
I
I'll
think
pass
you
it.
have the great idea for a new patent to make $1 million, Ms. Graves. Design a case that can withstand. I mean, I can't imagine that DJ's the only young person. I'd buy one for my daughter.
I used to work in a rehab hospital, and we had the speech tablets for some of our youth that weren't able to communicate. And I have to reach out to one of my friends to find out the name of that tablet, because their cases are somewhat indestructible. Like, you can drop those 1,000,000 times and the screens don't break.
Yeah.
So that may be an option for him.
Oh my goodness. Any questions, Mr. Keithley?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court has reviewed the report that's on file. I will continue the department as the permanent managing conservator. I will approve DJ's current placement. Our next permanency after is October 18th, 2023 at 2:00. And we have lots of time to get ready to do the referral to dads for the guardianship. But hopefully we'll be in a position to have that referred to them early enough so that by the time he's turning 18, then we're not extending this court's jurisdiction to make sure that happens. I think Ms. Graves froze. Well, I think we're starting to at least have our radar up a little bit better to watch these cases that need guardianship. So hopefully we don't keep them open a whole lot longer than we need to. We should be, if there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. But I don't have a courtroom.
All right, thank you.
And we had a plan for a short time to broadcast into the law library, but apparently that really wasn't a solution that the county really thought was going to work after it worked for a little bit. But so they told me to go back to YouTube, and I'm like, okay.